Today we're going to have an honest conversation about something that concerns many of us as we get older, our brain health. You've probably seen headlines claiming certain foods will destroy your memory, or that one simple change will prevent Alzheimer's. The truth, as with most things in health, is more nuanced. But that doesn't mean the research isn't important. A landmark study published in JAMA Neurology in 2023 followed over 10,000 adults in Brazil for 8 years. The researchers found something significant. Those who consumed more than 20% of their daily calories from ultra-processed foods showed a 28% faster rate of cognitive decline compared to those who ate less of these foods. Now let me be clear about what this means and what it doesn't mean. This doesn't mean eating a single processed snack will damage your brain. It doesn't mean you need to live in fear of your kitchen. What it does suggest is that our overall dietary patterns, the foods we choose day after day, year after year, may influence how our brains age. In today's video, I'll share the stories of 3 people, Rose, George, and Raymond. Their experiences illustrate what research is telling us about diet and brain health. More importantly, I'll share practical, balanced approaches that you can discuss with your doctor. Before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Have you noticed any changes in your memory or thinking as you've gotten older? What dietary changes, if any, have you tried? Share your experiences in the comments. I read every single one. And if you find this video helpful, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. We share evidence-based health information for seniors every week. Now let's start by understanding what actually happens to our brains after 60. Before we talk about food, we need to understand something fundamental. Some brain changes after 60 are completely normal, and some may be influenced by lifestyle factors, including diet. Here's what science tells us about the aging brain. First, the blood-brain barrier becomes more permeable. The blood-brain barrier is a protective layer that controls what enters your brain from your bloodstream. Research published in the journal Aging Cell shows that this barrier can become leakier as we age. This may allow inflammatory molecules that were previously blocked to reach brain tissue. Second, the brain's ability to use glucose may decrease. Glucose is the brain's primary fuel source. Some research suggests that as we age, particularly if we develop insulin resistance, our brain cells may have more difficulty accessing this fuel efficiently. This has led some researchers to explore the connection between metabolic health and cognitive function. Third, inflammation plays a role. Chronic low-grade inflammation, sometimes called inflammaging, has been linked to various age-related conditions, including cognitive decline. Our diet can influence inflammation levels in our bodies. Now, here's the important part. None of this means cognitive decline is inevitable. Research also shows that the brain retains remarkable plasticity throughout life. The choices we make, including dietary choices, may help support brain health as we age. Let me share Rose's story to illustrate the first pattern researchers have identified. Rose is 68 years old. She spent her career as a piano teacher, and music has always been central to her life. Recently, Rose noticed something troubling. She was having difficulty remembering pieces she had played thousands of times. Names of longtime students occasionally slipped her mind. She was worried. Was this early Alzheimer's? Rose visited her doctor, who ran comprehensive tests. The results were reassuring in some ways. She didn't have Alzheimer's, but her doctor noticed something in her blood. High levels of inflammatory markers. When they discussed her diet, a pattern emerged. For decades, Rose had been using margarine and vegetable oils in her cooking, believing they were the heart-healthy choice. Here's what research tells us about certain fats and brain health. A study published in Neurology in 2019 followed over 1,600 Japanese adults for a decade. Researchers measured blood levels of oleic acid, a marker of industrial trans fat consumption. Those with the highest levels had approximately 52% higher risk of developing dementia compared to those with the lowest levels. Now, an important caveat. Modern margarine in many countries has been reformulated. The FDA banned partially hydrogenated oils, the main source of industrial trans fats, in 2018. So the margarine you buy today may be quite different from what was studied. However, the broader principle remains relevant. The types of fats we consume matter for brain health. Some oils, particularly those high in omega-6 fatty acids when consumed in excess without balancing omega-3s, may promote inflammation. What did Rose do? She didn't make dramatic overnight changes. Instead, she worked with a registered dietitian to gradually shift her cooking oils. She incorporated more extra virgin olive oil, which contains compounds like oleocanthal that have shown anti-inflammatory properties in laboratory studies. She also added fatty fish twice weekly for omega-3s. After 6 months, Rose's inflammatory markers had improved. She also reported feeling mentally sharper, though she acknowledges this could be due to multiple factors, including better sleep and more regular exercise she had also adopted. The takeaway from Rose's story is not that margarine is poison. It's that our overall pattern of fat consumption may influence inflammation, and inflammation may affect brain health over time. George is 72 years old and a retired engineer. He prided himself on his analytical mind throughout his career, but lately, he's been experiencing what he calls brain fog. Difficulty concentrating, forgetting why he walked into a room, feeling mentally tired even after a full night's sleep. George assumed this was just normal aging, but during a routine checkup his doctor noticed his fasting blood sugar was in the pre-diabetic range. This led to a conversation about diet. George was surprised by what he learned. The orange juice he drank every morning. More sugar than a soda. The low-fat yogurt he thought was healthy. Loaded with added sugars to improve taste. The granola bars he snacked on. Essentially candy in a healthy-looking wrapper. Here's what research tells us about blood sugar and brain health. The brain uses about 20% of the body's glucose supply. When blood sugar regulation is impaired, it can affect how efficiently the brain accesses energy. Some researchers have proposed calling Alzheimer's disease type 3 diabetes because of the strong connection between insulin resistance and cognitive decline. However, I should note this terminology is not officially recognized by major medical organizations. A study from Harvard Medical School published in the journal Diabetes Care found that higher HbA1c levels, a marker of long-term blood sugar control, were associated with greater brain atrophy and cognitive decline, even in people without diabetes. What did George do? He didn't eliminate all sugar. That would be neither necessary nor sustainable. Instead, he learned to read nutrition labels and identify added sugars. He replaced his morning orange juice with whole fruit, which contains fiber that slows sugar absorption. He swapped flavored yogurt for plain Greek yogurt with fresh berries. He discovered that blueberries, which he now enjoys regularly, contain anthocyanins. These compounds have been associated with improved blood flow to the brain in some studies, though more research is needed. After 3 months, George's blood sugar improved significantly. He also reported that his brain fog had lifted, though again, he made multiple lifestyle changes simultaneously. The key message from George's story is not that sugar is evil. It's that excessive added sugar, particularly hidden in foods we think are healthy, may affect blood sugar regulation, which in turn may impact brain function. Raymond is 65 years old. He lives alone since his wife passed away 3 years ago. Convenience has become his priority in the kitchen. His freezer is stocked with frozen dinners. His pantry is full of canned soups and instant meals. He frequently eats deli meats and processed snacks. Raymond figured that as long as he was eating something, that was what mattered. But recently, he's noticed he doesn't feel as sharp as he used to. He sometimes gets confused about dates and appointments. His daughter expressed concern after he forgot about a lunch they had planned. Let's talk about what research tells us about ultra-processed foods. The NOVA food classification system defines ultra-processed foods as industrial formulations made mostly from substances extracted from foods or derived from food constituents, with little, if any, intact whole food. Think chips, packaged cookies, instant noodles, hot dogs, and many frozen meals. The Brazilian study I mentioned earlier, published in JAMA Neurology in 2023, is one of the largest to examine this connection. Over 8 years, participants who got more than 20% of their calories from ultra-processed foods showed significantly faster cognitive decline. Importantly, this association remained even after controlling for other factors like overall diet quality, physical activity, and cardiovascular risk factors. The researchers suggest several mechanisms that might explain this link. Ultra-processed foods are often high in added sugars, unhealthy fats, and sodium. They frequently contain additives and preservatives whose long-term effects on the brain are not fully understood. They tend to displace whole foods that contain brain-protective nutrients. But here's the nuance. Not all processed foods are equal. Some fortified cereals provide important nutrients. Some whole grain breads, while technically processed, can be part of a healthy diet. The concern is primarily with highly industrialized products that bear little resemblance to whole foods. What did Raymond do? He didn't throw away everything in his kitchen overnight. That would have been overwhelming. Instead, he started small. He replaced his breakfast of instant pastries with oatmeal topped with walnuts. He swapped 2 frozen dinner nights per week for simple home-cooked meals, batch cooking on Sundays when his daughter visited. He chose canned fish like salmon or sardines instead of deli meats. These fish provide omega-3 fatty acids, particularly DHA, which is a major structural component of the brain. After 4 months, Raymond reported feeling more mentally present. He was keeping appointments more reliably. His daughter noticed the improvement too. The lesson from Raymond's story is not that all convenience foods are dangerous. It's that a diet heavily reliant on ultra-processed foods may, over time, affect brain health. Small, sustainable shifts toward whole foods may be beneficial. So what did the stories of Rose, George, and Raymond teach us? Not that you need to live in fear of your food. Not that one dietary mistake will doom your brain, but that our overall eating patterns, the choices we make day after day, may influence our cognitive health as we age. Let me share a balanced framework based on current evidence. First, consider your fats. Prioritize extra virgin olive oil for cooking and dressings. Include fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines 2 to 3 times per week for omega-3s. Limit, but don't necessarily eliminate, highly refined vegetable oils. If you enjoy butter or even margarine occasionally, that's unlikely to cause harm in the context of an otherwise healthy diet. Second, be aware of added sugars. Learn to read nutrition labels. Ingredients ending in O's, such as glucose, fructose, and sucrose, are sugars. Watch for hidden sugars in foods marketed as healthy, like flavored yogurts, granola bars, and fruit juices. Choose whole fruits over fruit juices whenever possible. Enjoy sweet treats in moderation without guilt. The occasional dessert is part of a joyful life. Third, emphasize whole foods. When possible, choose foods that look like they did when they came from nature. Cook at home more often. It doesn't have to be complicated. When convenience is necessary, choose minimally processed options. Fourth, consider the MIND diet as a framework. MIND stands for Mediterranean-Intervention for Neurodegenerative Delay. It emphasizes leafy green vegetables, berries, nuts, whole grains, fish, poultry, olive oil, and beans. It suggests limiting red meat, butter, cheese, pastries, sweets, and fried or fast food. Now I must be honest with you about the research. The original observational studies on the MIND diet were very promising, but a large randomized controlled trial published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2023 showed less clear results. Does this mean diet doesn't matter? No. It may mean that the specific MIND diet protocol used in the trial wasn't dramatically different from the control diet. It may mean that dietary effects take longer than 3 years to show. It may mean that diet works best in combination with other lifestyle factors. The overall evidence still supports that a diet rich in plants, healthy fats, and minimally processed foods is associated with better cognitive outcomes. Part 7. When to see your doctor. Before I wrap up, I want to address something important. While diet may play a role in brain health, it is just one factor. If you're experiencing cognitive changes that concern you, please talk to your doctor. Some signs that warrant medical evaluation include forgetting recently learned information, difficulty planning or solving problems that were previously easy, confusion about time or place, trouble understanding visual images or spatial relationships, new problems with speaking or writing, misplacing things and being unable to retrace your steps, changes in mood or personality. Many of these can have treatable causes. Vitamin B12 deficiency, thyroid problems, medication side effects, Sleep disorders. Depression. A proper medical evaluation is essential. Don't rely on internet videos, including this one, to diagnose or treat cognitive concerns. Part 8. Conclusion and call to action. We've covered a lot of ground today. Let me summarize the key points. First, some brain changes after 60 are normal, but our lifestyle choices may influence the trajectory. Second, research suggests associations between certain dietary patterns and cognitive health. Third, Rose's story illustrated the potential role of refined oils and inflammation. Fourth, George's story highlighted the connection between added sugars and brain energy. Fifth, Raymond's story showed the possible impact of ultra-processed foods. Sixth, a balanced approach emphasizing whole foods, healthy fats, and limited added sugars is supported by current evidence. Seventh, diet is just one factor. Sleep, exercise, social connection, mental stimulation, and medical care all matter too. What I want you to take away from this video is not fear, it's empowerment. Every meal is an opportunity, not to be perfect, but to make choices that support your health. Small changes, made consistently over time, can add up. Now I'd love to hear from you. Which story resonated most with you? Rose, George, or Raymond? What's one small dietary change you might consider? Share in the comments. I read and respond to as many as I can. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It helps YouTube show this to other seniors who might benefit. Share it with a friend or family member who might be interested. And subscribe to Happy Seniors for more evidence-based health content every week. In our next video, we'll be exploring the truth about brain supplements. Which ones have evidence behind them? Which are wasting your money? You won't want to miss it. Until then, keep your mind curious and your heart young. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video.